Welcome to Cookies, the world's most influential basketball podcast. We are now recording live from the new Art Dealers Alliance. Andrew
Huge.
Kuo, what's really good?
What's really good?
What's really
We're
good?
here looking at art. So many people enjoying paintings, sculptures. I saw a bunch of Ducatis.
I mean, the crowd in front of us is a bit intimidating.
Yeah. Just
but
pretend like they're all in their underwear and you'll be fine.
that's what they say.
That's what they say. I used to think getting over stage fright, I just picture everyone trying on bad jeans. Everyone's tried on bad jeans.
Has your definition of bad jeans evolved over time? Like it went from being too baggy, now too tight, maybe it's too frayed, distressed denim at this point?
I just need some more like chrome crosses on my jeans, maybe stitched some spray paint, a tag maybe.
Would gunmetal jabots qualify as good or bad jeans at this point? I say good.
Are Cavariccis back?
Imagine everyone in gunmetal jabot jeans and your stage fright will dissipate. It'll just vamoose.
What if you just put something basketball related on some jabots? Like a Cookies logo maybe?
Well, the basketball's out front there. I
That's
couldn't
right.
help but notice they are made by you. And I feel like I didn't really get a chance to have any like personalized merch,
Oh.
outside of the walls of this confine.
Wow. Yeah, I did a ball for Nada a few years ago. Second edition. First edition is gone. Now we're on their second. It's pretty cool. Angry face. You know how I do.
Well, so we're here with LeRoy Neiman's gallery,
That's
the
right.
foundation.
The foundation.
And there's some incredible work over there you can take a look at. Very basketball related. There's the gods, AI, Bird,
Patrick Ewing.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J,
Top 15 player of all time, Michael Jordan.
Larry Bird, the
Top
the,
50.
the Bogan Bogdanovich of his era.
Right. They call him Bojan Bogdanovic with hops. Or the original junkyard dog.
With less swagoo.
Right.
So have you been enjoying Art Week, Gala Week, etc.? I mean, I feel like there's a dovetailing of the social calendar is happening right now.
A lot of weeks, man. Art Week has been declared and amazing. I love this damn city, and I like art, man. What's not to love?
It's also Derby Day, NBA playoffs. Really, we've defeated this pandemic in so many ways.
Yeah, the pandemic took us to 7 games, and we prevailed.
We won big.
We had the dog in us, man.
So Art Week, you are the artist here. Have you
wow.
been experiencing the glory of Art Week like in full?
I love it. I get to see all my friends. We beat COVID, as you said, so everyone is enjoying small handheld foods, great new bars, a lot of paintings, a lot of art, a lot of people texting about paintings and about art.
So you're saying that here at Nada, the art world is thriving.
It's thriving. Someone sent me the Patrick Ewing, LeRoy Neiman drawing. 3 different people sent it to me. And I got to see it in person, and it's incredible. Can you buy it for me, Ben?
Yes,
All right, done.
deal. So I was covering some of the Met Gala after party stuff, and I went to an Instagram party.
I saw, and you wrote about it for the New York Times style section.
I did.
Spill the beans, dude.
It was a beautiful mansion on 78th Street.
This was after the gala.
After the gala. Beautiful mansion, 25-foot ceilings. You could fit several basketball hoops on
Right.
top of each other.
So, paint me this picture. It was gala week. Go on.
Yes, it was Gala Week. And everyone there was taking selfies of each other because it was an Instagram party. And it was very jarring because everyone was just walking around, like documenting themselves in front of pianos, in front of gateways, and there were all these like Instagram bait
Right.
areas in the party.
So it was kind of like an art fair, but for Instagram. So there was booths. Was there like a jungle booth? Was there
was a jungle room.
racetrack?
There was a jungle room.
There was a jungle room.
It was very musky and it had a
Elon Muskie.
vegetal mossy smell.
Oh, that's kind of delicious.
Give me some moss.
Vegetal. But was there like a racetrack set up? I'm trying to think of the best. Was there an art studio, like a splatter paint?
There was a
backdrop?
Knicks car for adults to sleep in.
All right, which celebrities were there though?
SZA performed.
That's kind of a big deal. Because when you told me you were going to the IG party, I had to admit, I kind of chuckled under my breath. Like, good luck with that. You're not at the Boom Boom Room. You're not at Rihanna's party, if she had one. I
You're
don't think
giving
she
me like post FOMO for the things that I did not attend.
Detrick, we're sending you to the Instagram party.
I was like, what about the other ones? Like, Cardi B says you can't go.
But I saw that you talked to our esteemed mayor.
I did. I got to talk to the mayor. Like, what a moment.
Did he give you any tips about how to live your life in a certain way?
Well, I asked him about his experience at the Met Gala and if it was indeed something that he had always coveted, that he really wanted to go to the Met Gala. And he kind of blew it off. He was like, no. He's like,
I'm a professional.
he said, the Met Gala needed swag, so he brought the swag, although it had swag and he added to it.
When you texted that to me, I thought he was talking about his clothes. Was he not talking about his like customized? Because he had.
He was wearing the drip. The drip was intact.
Okay.
But he was just talking about his general swag that he brings 24/7. From zero bond when he's out with the boys to when he wakes up with the men, 24 full calendar, 365 swag.
Do you think when he ran for mayor, being at the Met Gala was like a driving, motivating force for him?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? Like, he loves to party. That dude is as swaggy as he claims to be.
I had never had the privilege of talking to the mayor before, and I have to say, he is an engaging cartoon character.
Can you rank your top 3 mayors of New York City?
They're all from Boston except for him. It's a bunch of Celtics.
Okay, can we relitigate de Blasio? Did we give him a hard time? The pizza was eaten. Any way you eat pizza is fine, right?
You love de Blasio. You've always loved de Blasio. You're a de Blasio day one.
I have a Larry Bird jersey under my shirt. See, you don't know this, but I wear Celtic shorts under my normal Knicks shorts every day, but it's for good luck.
You got the dog in you.
It keeps the dog in me.
So when you're going around these events, these esteemed gala weeks, art galas, fashion galas, etc., are you being confronted constantly by people who want to talk about basketball?
Last night I went to a gathering for Broadway Gallery, and all night, all I talked about was hoops. There was like, everyone was just kind of rolled up individually, be like, hey, I really want to talk about the Bucks. I really want to talk about the Knicks. Like, I heard a conspiracy theory that I loved, and we're gonna
share.
No. Nate Lohman has his theory about State Farm Insurance. He's gonna be on the pod next week.
Wow, that's an incredible teaser that you put out there.
Tune in. But I feel like the NBA is a form of midlife crisis for men, right? Like, we don't buy sports cars. We have all the swaggiest clothes already. We're turning a little into our gray years a little bit.
Is this just a shot?
A shot at your.
Just a shot across the bow?
But a lot of my friends who did not give any hoot, a hoot about the NBA.
Not a single solitary hoot.
Obsessed now. I was a clown, and now my culture is their costume.
But I want you to dig a little deeper. Midlife crisis. So they're like, okay, my career is stalled out. It's time to get into the Milwaukee Bucks.
I've made too much money.
I hate my kids.
Yeah, I'm done doing capitalism. I want to enjoy the culture of the NBA for its competition, for its style, for its swagger. All these things are appealing because you can be into the NBA and it kind of consumes like music, runways, like league fits, my favorite Instagram account, right?
It sounds like you're referring to the joy of basketball, sort of
Oh.
an umbrella term that could be used to describe all these elements of the game.
I heard there's a book called The Joy of Basketball.
Yeah, heard it's good.
Amazing. Have you? Well, you've always been to the NBA, but you are going through a midlife crisis.
Absolutely.
So does that finally line up?
I think at long last,
Yeah.
I'm really comfortable with myself as a basketball fan.
Well, you still slap glass. Like you played last night. I wanted you to come out and enjoy some small foods and NBA chat, but you were too busy crouch biasing.
I was out there defeating COVID in the gym. No, I got hit twice in the face by a basketball, and in really rapid succession. I'm used to painful indignity, but not in like a 10-minute span.
Was it? Were you not expecting a no-look pass or something?
I think I was playing incredible defense with my face.
How come you're not wearing a mask?
Everyone's wearing a mask these days.
It's
You're saying like an Embiid mask.
yeah. You miss an opportunity a little bit. What would your mask look like?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think you're really putting me on the spot. Maybe something Freddy Krueger-esque, perhaps.
What if it was like a printout or a really accurate painting of what your face looks like?
I would definitely wear that.
That's creepy.
Super, super gross.
Definitely gross. So what happened? Did you fight?
No, I just cowered and held my nose repeatedly, and now it feels swollen and red.
There was no blood.
No blood. Anyway, that was my experience. Got smacked around a little bit out there.
Well, we were talking about like people around New York City, artists, musicians, people in fashion, like secretly being into hoops. I know a lot of these players who play in your run are like, you wouldn't think they had game, but
Yes, I think one of the things that's been great about like working within the realm of basketball is meeting so many people who are, as you described, like secret hoops heads. And there are people that I've known for years, only in in recent times have kind of come up and be like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm into basketball, I
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
And we had Sean Thor Conroe on our podcast who wrote the book Fuckboy, and he mentioned that
He's
he
good.
He played ball.
Yeah.
So I was like, you should come and play with us. And he did, and he's a baller. He's nice.
he might be the best player in the run, right? I mean,
It's a-
present
it's a-
company excluded.
It's a good group. It's a good group. You know,
Right, right.
we're not making any declarations up here. Everyone's great.
Well, when we have our tournament, the Cookie Soups Classic, it's littered with painters who can. All right, maybe the question is, can you identify the style with the occupation, the in-game style?
Absolutely not, which
No.
is great. So like Walter Price plays with us, super talented painter, and he's got his own style. He's just like working on his bag. His
I'm
whole
gonna
thing
guess, is he a
step
bucket
backs.
getter? Does he get those buckets?
He gets some buckets.
Okay.
But he's very much about using the moves that he has worked on by himself. So he goes out there and does a little step back. He does his crossovers. Like he's looking to integrate his like non-run work, which I think is cool.
Right,
Because
right.
most people don't really do that. He's clearly working on his game with the intention of seeing it be successful on Friday nights.
Does Sean, the author of the book Fuckboy, just troll everybody? Is he a dirty player?
No, he's
He's a
tough.
distributor, right?
He's tough.
Right.
He's a tough player. No, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
Good player. When are you going to play in the run? That's what everyone says. I walk around, everyone walks up to me, talk hoops, but the one question that is constant is, when is Quo hooping?
It sucks because not only am I short, you would assume I had a handle. I cannot dribble. So I can't really do much on. I played up until JV in high school. Not good, but I could hit a shot once in a while, but I can't do anything else.
So you have no bag.
I got no bag. I need to consult with our mayor about getting my swag back.
Swag bag up?
Yeah. But I probably won't ever play because I'm worried about. The last time I played, I kind of broke my finger. I dislocated it. Not good for someone with delicate hands who needs those delicate hands.
The hands of a pastry chef.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So as an artist who likes basketball, we see your the eyeball basketballs there.
Sure.
We've got the LeRoy Neiman gallery.
Foundation.
Foundation, excuse me. What is the connection in your mind between basketball and art? Is there something more connected than other sports?
I don't think so, man.
I wouldn't know.
I think you're way off. But no. I think trying to connect those two, and artists have tried to connect it, it's like, the ball is life, you know? It's a metaphor for all these big...
Sir,
No,
I thought this was
no.
jazz. Weren't we doing the jazz basketball thing?
It's sort of like when you see a painting, it's like, it's about a piece of music. And you're like, well, cool, you know? But I don't think there's much of a connection. I think if you're interested in it, it just is what it is. It doesn't have to have like a broader meaning. And I especially get frustrated when artists are just like, well, there's these metaphors that happen in a game. I'm like, sure. I mean, there's beautiful artworks about sports, you know, like the Zidane movie is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Paul Pfeiffer makes these amazing artworks, and like he photoshops all the players off a court, and Larry Johnson just like screaming into a void. It's incredible. He does boxing stuff. He does all these things that kind of are more about religion than sports, but he uses that as a subject. So a good piece of art doesn't have to explain itself, and I think trying to make something out of a thing you're interested in is the challenge, and I don't necessarily think sports or basketball offers a broader insight.
In the art you made for our book, The Joy of Basketball, there were definitely some biblical religious overtones, and the way
Wow.
that the hoop is a halo.
Oh, right.
There's
This is true. Whoops.
The basketball doesn't have seams. It's like the sun. It's an orb.
Right. So in our book, The
Yeah,
Joy
what-
of
yeah, what-
Basketball,
what's up now?
Available. I'm on the ropes, man. I have 5 fouls going into the second half, but
So you're saying religion, basketball cannot be connected, is what you're getting out there.
well, it's true. All the rims in the book are like halos, and the players are jumping towards them with light sources from different unnatural places, but it doesn't have to be. I told you that, and now you narked on me like you narked on our fine mayor in the paper of record. So good on that.
He's on the record. That's not a narc. Can't narc on the record.
I mean, are you the Joy of Basketball snitch?
I'm kind of a D'Angelo Russell of our.
We have a
mutual
chapter
tone.
about snitching, actually.
I do. And I mostly just interviewed you for that.
Yeah, it's me talking about art.
But that idea of athletes as being godly is something that I think is cool, because you can both imagine a player being this monumentally good at a task, and there is like an element of them being a higher deity, because
For sure.
there's 300 guys in the NBA or something along those lines, and to be that good at anything is just astounding.
100%. And
And as a top 300 painter, you know what I'm saying.
wow, 300. I made it. Woo. You're right. And of course, the spectacle of it, like I remember the WNBA played a game at Radio City, and it looked fucking amazing. And it brought out ideas that were bigger than just the basketball game, which is kind of great. And when you roll into the Garden, they call it the Mecca of basketball, right? So there's all these connotations that are that kind of exist in a parallel way to
20 years of fasting.
20 years of fasting, that's right. It's something that, like, I really pause at that idea. I don't love it because I'm a fan of religion. I'm not religious, but I'm down for all of it. But it just seems like a tidy way to talk about things that I'm not interested in, which is like working hard, being a good person. Like, not interested in any of that kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's incredibly lame. But yeah, I think when we talk about NBA players, there is this duality. On one hand, we talk about them as if they are gods because they are so good at this sport and they are larger than life. And in basketball, many of them are huge. Mm-hmm. And you see them walk towards you when you have excellent seats. And they aren't like people that you see on a daily basis. You don't walk around and see a 7-foot person outside of a basketball arena more than once a year. It just doesn't happen. And then they are running and flying down the court, doing these incredible acrobatic moves and being astoundingly good at what they do. Yet, I think as fans, we have to get better at talking about them as people. And there's been some improvement in that area. But that dichotomy of being godly and larger than life, but also being young men and women who are in their early 20s is, I think, something that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, there is, I don't know if it's just celebrity or that kind of celebrity, that physical kind of celebrity, right? Like, a friend of mine has become friends with Dwight Howard. So there was a rumor that Dwight Howard would come to the Independent Fair. And just maybe a better example, as I'm name dropping here, I went to a book fair with Tyson Chandler once, and it was awkward.
You are snitching.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And he also was swaggy, like our mayor, but he was difficult to be around because he's 7 feet tall. He doesn't really fit in these tight spaces. So basically what he did was he just crouched in the corner, and we brought him cool books for him to read because it just didn't feel normal.
I wrote a story for the New York Times about Amari Stoudemire and his forays into the art world.
He's a collector, right?
Yeah, he was a collector, and he was working on kind of being an intermediary between artists and art and auction houses and players that he had personal connections with.
Right,
I
right.
don't know where that is at this point, but this was a few years back. But the excruciating difficulty for someone of that size to do normal things was quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Where we'd get into the back of an SUV, and he would get in the third row and kick down the second row, and then have his feet stuck directly out against the back of the driver's side chair. I think that visual makes sense, right?
Yep.
Like, he can't sit in any row unless he's in the third with his feet in the front. And that's just how he has to get around.
Amin El-Hassan told a story the other day on his pod where Keon Clark, Raptors legend Keon Clark, had did something, a minor infraction, and ended up in jail. So he had to go and bail him out. And the cell was too small for him, so when he rolled up, his legs were sticking out of it. It just wasn't built for a man that size.
I always believed in Keon Clark.
Keon Clark was a secretly great statistical player, right?
Shot blocker, rebounder, high percentage.
Deflections.
Actually, I don't think he scored that well, but I feel like in this modern era he would have.
Did he? He was a Knick for a second, right?
I mostly remember him on the Raptors and somewhere else, I think.
Right.
Anyway, I was a Keon believer. Nerlens Noel before Nerlens.
When you mentioned Amari Stoudemire, there was 5 years ago, it felt like NBA players were getting really into collecting art. It seems to have waned a little bit. Do you think, I have a theory why, but do you think my theory is you find out pretty quickly things don't triple in value, and it's really frowned upon to resell these things. And I think they were thinking it was a different process, maybe.
And then NFTs came along.
Oh my God. Maybe so.
I don't know. I think maybe it just became normalized also. So we hear about it less. And maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, it was viewed as a novelty and something that, say, I would write about in the style section.
Yeah.
But it became something that is just par for the course.
Yeah.
Players who get their new contracts, they have an art agent, and they buy some things and put them on the walls of their condo in Denver.
Right. I once sold a painting to Jason Kidd's wife, and she was just like, I have a wall for this, so I'm going to buy this. Maybe it's just wall space and real estate. Maybe they're just I have enough paintings now. I wanted 5 paintings, and I got 5 paintings.
All right, we don't have room for paintings anymore. No one's moving. They're just in the same apartment.
Yeah, maybe it's as simple as that. It's I needed a painting for my living room, and I got it.
I mean, so the big art collectors, we talked about them in the book, and Amari was one.
Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert was getting into it. Kevin Love, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Kevin Love had that Architectural Digest video where he talked about his Rasheed Johnson painting. And then what else did he have? Oh, he had an Anton Gormley sculpture in the corner of his living room.
There was something large in neon as well. I don't know what it was though.
Yeah, I forgot who he had, but yeah, he's famously good at collecting art.
Yeah, I know a fairly well-known artist that he's like reached out to himself.
Oh, really?
On like Instagram DM.
I love it. Does he have a consultant, or is he just DMing artists?
I don't know. He's doing the DMing, but maybe someone's telling him who to DM. I don't know. Is it you?
It could be. I never snitch.
You're known for
You won't
being
get it out of me.
You're a vault.
That's right. Have you gone out and seen anything you like this week?
This is the first I've seen, and I like it all. Each painting more than the last.
You claim you're not into art. You always make a point to say that you're not into this stuff. But you must have opinion. You're surrounded by people who make pictures.
I think Andrew Kuo is an artist
nice.
worth checking out. His work in the joy of basketball is
You
honestly
really
the
threw
best of
down
his
that
career.
lob. Thank you.
Yeah. It's called
Called us-
teamwork.
Yeah, we're podcasting from Lob City.
I mean, I think I've played in here before. There are hoops on the ceilings.
Oh, you've played in here at the NADA tournament, and something went down.
Well, that was outside.
I know, but can you tell everyone about the Fuck You 3?
Well, it is true. Cookies Hoops was the champion of the NADA tournament 4 years ago, 5 years
yeah.
ago. That was a great day.
And
a
the
great day for NADA and Cookies Hoops.
You told me, you put the exclamation on the tournament by draining a 3. Maybe like not in the most sportsmanlike way.
Well, we didn't do anything sportsmanlike that day. We were playing a bunch of young, exuberant athletes, and we just slowed it down to a crawl. Because when you get wise, like I am, you realize that you win tournaments based on the rules.
Oh, we talked about this the night before the tournament. Like, you're going to win this. There's no shot clock.
And it became clear they did not have a shot clock.
Yeah.
And there was no mechanism to prevent you from holding the ball indefinitely.
You just point at people, like, cut, and just like pretend like you're throwing them a pass.
So the games were to 11, but we would get a 3-2 lead and say, well, that's...
Cookies wins 3-2.
That's it. We just hold the ball for 7 minutes, pointing at things.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Reset. Go down there. And the other team was just watching the clock, and they would follow you, and you'd be like, cool, we'll check ball again.
But you also had a Jordan-esque player on your team, our ex-podcast partner, Jordan Rodelli.
We had Jordan, and we had our guy Flip, who people accused of being a ringer, but was not a ringer.
He was good, though.
He's good.
He kind of had the dog in him, though.
I mean, people might have thought he was a ringer because he had neck tattoos, but no, he's just a friend who
Right.
likes to play basketball.
That's right. And sort of like Michael Jordan, Jordan Rodelli got gassed early and was useless after the first game.
But he had
He quit on you.
He had a big game early.
Yeah.
Then he requested a trade.
Like Michael Jordan, he quit on you. So you're not going to say it, but there was a final game. There was a drama about who won enough games and who lost enough games. So you had to play an extra game to win the tournament, and you were so frustrated you drained a 3 inappropriately.
I think that was the only time we actually scored 11 points. All the rest were just milking the clock.
It was a heated day. There was a lot of emotions.
It's also strange that there was a basketball tournament outside of Basketball City.
I know, and I wanted to throw a tournament. I was like dreaming of throwing a tournament like for this NADA, but
You didn't have that dog in you.
and then I didn't have that dog in me. It would make sense. It would be indoors, right?
Are you trying to get one like going right over
I'm
here?
trying to get a game going right now.
The LeRoy Neiman booth has a little basketball.
Oh, that's right.
hoop up there. We could get it going over there.
Yeah.
It's like a regulation 11-5.
Yeah.
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 Should we talk at all about the playoffs, or just want to avoid the playoffs?
Let's avoid the playoffs. I want to.
Can we get some Knicks pathos out of you at least?
Yes. The Knicks. I'm a Knicks.
Just collapsed immediately. It was like the Knicks. Trails off, staring into the fluorescent lighting.
I feel like New York sports has made me this. I'm a fan of the Knicks, and it's made me a worse person. I know I've vacillated between it's made me a better person or worse person.
I've always thought that the Knicks made you a better person, but you started as a bad person.
Right. It's made me kind of like a nihilist about many things because it's like participation trophy kind of feelings I have with the Knicks. Like, well, at least we played 82 games. That season happened.
They all wore uniforms this year. Not one player went out there without his shorts.
And you can you love all your kids, but there is the terrible one, the ugly one, the one that's bad at everything. And that's the Knicks, right? I love them to death, but and I'm an apologist. I think they're doing great. I think New York City's looking up. We beat COVID, we got the swaggiest mayor, and we might get the Draymond Green clone in the draft this year.
So you've fixated on someone, haven't you?
I fixated on
So
Jeremy
every year you do this. You fixate on the guy. He's always
I do.
available.
I do.
You always get your hopes up, and then the Knicks take someone else.
They take Obi Toppin instead. I was crestfallen when they pass up on Halliburton, but this year it's Sochan, baby. Go big or go home.
So you have a unique perspective on being a Knicks fan because during Linsanity you peaked.
Oh, I peaked.
And you've realized in a nihilistic way that you can never ascend to those heights again. You had the ultimate high, and you have recognized rightfully that you can't even chase it. There's no point.
That was my Super Bowl. That was Linsanity Week should be celebrated every year in New York City.
Like Gala Week.
Yeah.
Linsanity Week.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but New York City is a better place when the Knicks are good. It's just like people go out, people are happy. I asked a cab driver this. I'm like, do you think when the Knicks are good, business is better? He's like, 100%.
And then people always say this, of course. The NBA is better when the Knicks are good, but I think it's fun to apply that to any team. Like, the
not
NBA
true.
is better
That's
when
not true.
OKC is good.
That's not true.
Sure.
I don't think people are that excited about the Milwaukee Bucks. Phoenix Suns? Do we care about the Phoenix Suns?
No.
No. We don't want them to win.
So you're really a Bing Bong truther. It's just different. It's just different when the Knicks are good.
How has that video aged? Is it a good thing? It's like, I was thinking about, how the big trade that happened this year, James Harden for Ben Simmons.
I heard about that trade, yeah.
It went down, and a lot of people have takes like, who won the trade? Ben Simmons played 0 games, therefore he's a 0 asset. Harden, no matter what happens, won the trade. But it kind of will backfire when Harden gets old and Ben Simmons gets better, and in 2 years, the Nets won the trade. It's hard to tell in the moment. Where was I going with this? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, where were you going with this?
I'm drifting a little
You're
bit.
talking Knicks. You wanted Linsanity to be a national holiday.
That's right.
Does this get anything rolling?
No,
The ultimate high.
The ultimate.
Bing Bong.
Oh, Bing Bong, that's right.
The red cafe, the Jada Kiss, the Uncle Murder aesthetic of the Knicks fan in 2022.
So is that Bing Bong video amazing? The best thing we've ever seen. In 4 days, the worst thing we've ever seen. Is it good again?
So
Are
I'm
they
going to snitch.
Cavaricis?
I'm going to snitch a little bit here.
What?
So we had a tournament coming up
Oh, yeah, that's right.
right around the time of the Bing Bong video. And we had a shirt that said Bing Bong on the back. And we pulled the plug on it. We yanked it last second so wisely.
So what? Because the 2 days it took to make that T-shirt, it had become like the lamest thing in New York City. It's like, ooh, this thing does not have a shelf life to it, right?
But that's our natural instincts kicked in. We said danger. This
But-
Bing Bong is danger.
Like Gerbeau jeans, it's gonna come back frantically, right? Like we're going to be Bing Bong Nation again.
On the other hand, if a shirt said Bing Bong and you found it in 10 years, you'd laugh.
Yes, it's sort of like
For posterity, the Bing Bong shirt kind of would have been amazing.
my best jersey in my collection is the Andre Miller jersey. I got Marcus Camby. I got a Michael Jordan somewhere. I think I have 2 Iversons. Those are boring. The worst ones are the best ones.
And I like when you put the year on everything, just knowing that it has a life cycle, that it seems old and useless within 3 years. Like, oh, that's not old. But now we get to 15 years, all of a sudden it's a 2022 shirt in 2037.
My friend for the last 25 years has been collecting small works of art from like his friends, artists he meets, but he collects the bad artworks. So he's like, I want the one that they don't like. The one that like is on the floor, is a different style, something that's not their signature style. His collection sucks. It's just like, I'm like, yo, these are the worst artworks by such great artists. He's like, yeah, I know. I thought I was doing a thing. But like, is this a photograph taken by a painter?
Can you sell them some stuff?
I'll sell my worst stuff. Hells yeah, half price.
Like, yeah, I got some photos on my phone I'd like to pawn off.
Have you ever collected? You're a basketball art collector?
I have Quo pieces of art littering my home.
You do.
There's like a Nerlens Noel, there's a Jeremy Lin, there's a Joel Embiid.
That's
Yeah.
all the art you have.
There's a couple other ones in there, but it's mostly your stuff. Some Mexican street art, you know.
Oh, that's right,
For the
that's right.
culture, for the culture.
You got some prints of some basketball players.
They're for sale. You could purchase them.
One of my friends was going to start in a basketball gallery and decided just to make it a gallery.
Is
I
that
think he made a wise decision.
He took Bing Bong off the back of his, his gallery.
It's like, by the time I open this gallery, basketball might be not as good.
Little did he know the midlife crises that were on the horizon. Actually, I do know someone who opened a small gallery that was basketball oriented around West 4th. It was like near the cage, but it was a temporary thing. I think
was like a
our friends
pop-up?
like Eric Elms were involved and,
Oh,
and some
okay.
other people.
Like street art kind of guys?
Yeah, so it's been done, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. You could probably have a basketball-only gallery of like 10 artists. Yeah, you could do that. But how many portraits of Nerlens Noel can you actually sell? Once you have one.
Well, you just don't have the wall space for all those Nerlens Noel
I'm
portraits.
picturing a Nerlens on this wall. Oh, got it. Got him.
Well, yeah, that's the Nerlens wall. It's done. That's done. So, have you walked around yet?
I have.
Is this your second day here?
No, this is my first day here. It's awesome. I sound hokey, and I almost tweeted this, but like, I love this city, man. Like, this is cool, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's so much to do. I'm tired of traveling. I'm tired of talking to people. This is awesome. Like, there's 2 art fairs going on. You had the Met Gala last week. I don't know. After 2 years of some bullshit, I'm really happy this is going on.
You have Le Dive, the French dive bar, opening next to Clandestino. That's going to send Dime Square.
Can we get a Dime Square report?
Into conniptions. Necky, a guy right there, lives on Canal Street. I bet he was at Le Dive last night.
Wait, is the Le Dive open?
It's friends and family as of last night.
No.
Right next to Clando, sharing a wall with Clando.
Is there a clock on Dime Square? Because the hotel is going to open. Le Dive is open.
Many people are asking this. I don't know.
I think it's fine.
No comment.
Are they going to send food through the wall? Can you, like...
No.
No.
It's a
Like old Winnie's.
design-wise, that would be cool. Design-wise, looks like Chez Jeanette in Paris.
Oh.
Like orange counters.
So
exactly
it's a Christmas
the same.
restaurant.
Yes.
Have you had the escargot, or were you friends and family?
No, I was playing basketball.
Oh, you were getting hit in the face twice.
I had the dog in me.
I'm excited to try. Should we support it? Yes.
Yes. Rising tide lifts all ships.
I never understood that. Like,
Which part? The tide or the ships part?
there was a Wingstop that opened up next to my house. And it was like, Wingstop coming soon. And someone had graffitied over it, like, boo, B-O-O. And I'm like, well, if it was the butcher's daughter or a Christmas restaurant,
You
people
would have
mad.
been there booing.
There would be people being like, "This, it's gentrifying. This is not what we want. It's going to change the neighborhood." The Wingstop is actually what the neighborhood wants. It's always crowded. There's always delivery people in there. It's doing great. I don't know what people just don't like new things, right? It's not that they're ruining the neighborhood. It's just a new thing.
I'm still just thinking about the phrase booing and like lustily booing. Because that would be
Boo.
like, oh, it's like
The-
it's like super horny booing. Like he's lustily booing.
Boo.
Like booing with like lust in your heart. But booing.
2 O's is fine. 3 O's, you're pushing it a little bit. 4, you're just crazy. That's lust.
I have like a little more boo content. So I was looking at a list of the most popular names of 2021. It's from the census. It's like real deal stuff. It's official tissue. The number one boy's name was Liam in America. Liam. I would not have thought that. You had Oliver for women. You had Olivia was way up there. But the name Harper was one of the top 10 for girls born in 2021 in America. And someone said maybe they just like To Kill a Mockingbird. And I
Isn't
was
that
like-
the reason?
I was like, but Boo Radley, nowhere to be seen.
Wow.
Just talking boo stuff, you know?
Yep, yeah. This is just boo talk.
Boo content, Mill.
I love the name Liam, but
But you're an Oasis guy.
it's about Oasis. I wanted to name a kid after the singer of Oasis, or the greatest Knicks player of all time, Carmelo Anthony.
Many people don't know this, but it's true. Andrew fought tooth and nail to name his son Carmelo and was shut down.
Denied at every turn. I still.
What about Carm? Carm, that's a good name for a boy. Carm.
Is that the Sopranos though? It's a Sopranos town. Yo, people have been hanging out in Little Italy. Have you noticed? There's like, I guess there's a new club there. I guess the Nada Party was there last night. Is Little Italy back?
You're talking about Ciao Bella?
The gelato spot?
No, it's Ciao Bella. That is a Ciao Bella. Okay, it's Ciao Bella. Yeah.
Is Little Italy back? I got a slice from Little Italy last night. It's not what it used to be.
As a San Gennaro day one,
Oh my God, so many rats.
I feel like San Gennaro was exactly the same forever. You go back and read like Thomas Pynchon's V, it's exactly the same. Still talking about sausages and flags and fireworks.
San Gennaro might be the worst 2 weeks in the entire year. Everywhere throughout the world.
So Linsanity is number one. San
Insanity is
Gennaro.
number one.
Is San Gennaro 2 weeks? I swear it's like 6 months.
Well, how long is the feast? It's like 17 days
It's a
or something.
long,
right?
long fucking meal.
How many sausages every day for three times a day? I'm tired of these sausages. All right, I'll have another.
That's gonna take like 30 seconds off your life.
15 seconds.
Each sausage is like at least 45 seconds. No, 25 seconds.
I like that weird candy. What do you call that? That white candy with the almonds in it, and it comes in a big hunk, and they chop it to bits for you.
It's like marzipan or something?
No, it's not marzipan. Anyway, it's an Italian delicacy.
What about those like deep fried pastries that are covered with sugar?
Zeppelis?
No, they do Zeppelis, but maybe this was a Rochester thing. We have a different culture up there.
We did the garbage plate pod already.
No, I'm not even getting into the garbage plate.
Right.
We used to call them pizza frita, and it was like fried pizza dough, but with sugar and cinnamon on it. Maybe that's just another local treasure that hasn't been exploited in Clinton Hill yet.
How come they don't serve this stuff in Barclays or the Garden?
Like San Gennaro stuff?
They should just do San Gennaro in the concourse of MSG.
So you're saying that worst 2 weeks in the world should be
Lines up.
replicated
Right.
year-round in your favorite place.
Right. I'm surprised no one has.
I think you're lying.
Am I snitching again?
No, I think you're being truthful.
But that is the worst week in New York City. Can we rank weeks in New York City?
Linsanity 1.
Linsanity 1. Fashion Week is controversial.
Art Week, Gala Week.
How many art weeks are there? There's like 4 art weeks, right?
I don't know art.
True. You,
What other weeks do we have? Well, Fleet Week.
remember they tried Restaurant Week and it didn't work? They gave everyone coupons to go to restaurants. You can finally get into like 11 Madison, and it just kind of fizzled.
I think I hated Restaurant Week.
So many sausages. You had sausages like 3 times a day for 17 days.
No, that was pre-Restaurant Week. No, but remember Restaurant Week just had a way of making you feel very, very poor? Where you'd go to a restaurant that you wanted to try, like, okay, you can have the $35 special with like one
Right,
appetizer, one of these 2 entrees, and a dessert, and you'd see the rest of the menu that you were not allowed to have, and you'd have your little $35 meal, and you're like, I guess we went to that restaurant, but not really. We kind of like faked the funk.
If you really hate one of your friends, you give them a gift certificate to a good restaurant. Because at the end of the meal, you have to present that gift certificate and be like, can I use this? It's just like the worst feeling. It's like, here you go, here's a $300 gift certificate to 11 Madison.
No, it's 20% off.
Just like slide it towards the server.
20% off appetizers.
Yeah. You put under your martini glass, like, oh, look what I found. $300.
So did you hear about this restaurant that opened in Fort Greene? I think I sent you a link. And like, no disrespect, I've never been there, but I read the review of a place called Dinner Party.
Oh my God.
It's called Dinner Party.
Right.
And the idea is you go in there, you sit at communal tables with people you've never met.
Right.
And they serve you your food on like mismatched china. And the menu changes daily, so there's no consistency at all. And it sounded like the chefs were kind of amateurs. And it's 3 hours long. So like, maybe it's great. It got a positive review. But every sentence that I read, my skin began to crawl more and more. I'm like, by the end, I'm like, I was trembling. Andrew, I was trembling. Like, I couldn't imagine spending 3 hours in this place. Again, never been. It could be great. But it really triggered a lot of things that I dislike. And I was wondering maybe they could even add details. Like, it's always charmingly 92 degrees in the dining room. And the bathroom is incredibly close to the table with very thin walls.
This has like style section written all over it. When are you gonna snitch on this restaurant in the New York Times? Meatballs.
It's called journalism.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on who's making the food, right? And it's always gonna be meatballs. It's just always gonna be meatballs.
They literally had
Meatballs in the photo.
meatballs in the photo.
Bunch of carrots in the photo. It's going to be a bunch of roast chicken. You always have a friend, and sometimes I'm this friend who takes pictures of the food they make and is like, someone's got to come over and help me eat this food. I made too much. Can someone eat this kale soup? Is this restaurant for them?
Well, I think I know who you're talking about. I think I want to take this person and give them like 6 martinis and then a gift certificate to
a
this
fine restaurant, right.
and just send them in to wreak havoc at communal tables for 3 hours.
You were torching our group thread with your short rib saga. It was 3 days of you inundating our chat with pictures of raw meat. How'd it turn out?
Well, I decided to duplicate Il Buco's short rib at home, and I needed to show people that I was doing this over the course of several days. So you were inundated with, like, here's the salting, here's the marinade, here's the peppering. Anyway, it was great. And then you went to the restaurant and sent back photos of the real thing and made me look like a clown.
That's right. I think I want to try this restaurant. This is a good idea. Could we throw a basketball-themed dinner at this place? What would we serve? Meatballs, obviously.
Meatballs have to go.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the name Dinner Party for a place? Is it saying, hey, I'm going to dinner party? A dinner party? No. Dinner party.
I love it. It's great.